Attention Austin musicians and music industry professionals. Austin Music Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to strengthening and connecting the local music community with innovative programs that empower musicians, music industry professionals, and Austin music businesses within Austin's creative economy. Ever since the coronavirus has arrived and we've done social distancing and the office has been closed, Austin Music Foundation has found a way to still provide all of its services online. You can go there and get consultations online. You can have all your questions answered. Just go to austinmusicfoundation.org, all right? Hang in there.
And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
It's time for How Did I Get Here? And now here is your host,
All right, hello. I'm Johnny. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. I hope that you are safe, healthy, and sane wherever you are. Sanity is becoming quite an elusive commodity these days, I'm noticing, even with myself. Yeah, I haven't seen people, man. I mean, I see my neighbors. I say hey to them once every couple days. Some weird girl in a bikini just walked by and stared in my window. That was weird. Yeah, it's getting weird. And I went to the grocery store. That was strange. It was kind of like this weird... it's all weird. You're wearing a face mask. You're wearing gloves. I've wiped down all my groceries for the week with bleach. It's just so strange. This whole thing is so strange. And also, like, I mean, you know, I want to say to you guys, like, oh, I hope you guys are having a good week. But I can't, because you're living in terror. You're isolated in your home, and it's a fucking freak scene out there. God forbid you're out working, having to come in contact with people. God bless you, whoever you are, with a job that still needs to be done. What are those called? Whatever, mandatory jobs. I wish you a lot of luck, man. It's dangerous out there. It's crazy. It is crazy. All right, enough of that crazy talk. Enough of that crazy talk. Let's talk about my guest today. Amazing musician, amazing songwriter. I met him like a month ago when I had a session for a song that I wrote over at 601 Studios with Mike Ingber and Eric Harrison at Studio 601. And they brought in a keyboard player that they were like, oh, you're going to like this guy. You guys, you know Andrew Nolte? I'm like, no, I don't. He came in, and just his vibe is amazing. He's a great, great dude. Tons of energy, tons of positive energy, great ideas. He changed some chords in the song. Hey, what if we do this here? And we did it, and it was great. And I'm looking forward to finishing that song because we still have more stuff to cut, but we are in isolation, so I cannot go there and do it. But anyway, those guys turned me on to Andrew's solo records that they made. And he's got a record that just came out last year, Climbing Uphill, and a record he put out in 2018 called Tied to a String. They are amazing albums. This guy is like, he is an orchestral pop songwriter. He writes stuff that's like almost in the vein of like the great songwriters. He's got songs that sound like standards in there. The guy's just a great songwriter, great singer, great musician, great vibe, and we have an incredible conversation. This was one of my early video chats when the isolation and shelter at home started. So please enjoy my conversation with the amazingly talented and incredibly cool Andrew Nolte. Let's get down. So you've not done a live stream?
I have not done a live stream yet.
How, what's kept you from doing it? I mean, obviously you got stuff to do. What have you been doing?
Writing a lot. Writing a whole lot and playing with my son a lot. So spring break coincided right before this started. And so we have a tent set up in the backyard right now, and we've painted some rocks and stuff, and we've been playing Play-Doh, and doing some clay and stuff, and playing with dinosaurs. And so most of the days I've just been playing.
Right.
Like literally just playing with toys, like all day long. Sleeping in, playing with toys. The wife comes home, and then we drink and play dominoes and watch movies. We've seen a lot of movies. Right. But I'm watching all these live streams going on, and my first thought is, why is nobody doing a sock puppet show yet?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I think that's going to come as people start losing their minds a little bit more.
That's
you know what I mean?
I want to see that.
I was waiting until it's just like to do one until it was just me in my underwear crying, playing a ukulele.
I'm looking for that. I want the next level. I want like beyond what we normally see. I don't want what you're expecting to see. I want the fire in the background while they're just singing like they're totally oblivious to it. Like,
yeah. So being a parent during this time must be both frightening and what are you going through as a parent during this?
It's insane, man. Well, it's allergy season, and my son is about to turn 7 on Monday. So I've got telling him that he doesn't need to have friends over for a birthday party, and we can't actually go anywhere, and you're not going back to school to see your friends either. So all of that's been a big shock to him. I don't really know how well he's processing that. Or he likes having a lot of time to play at home, but at the same time realizing that he doesn't get to go back and see his friends like on Monday or on Tuesday or Wednesday or anything like that. That this is just going to be a while.
Right. How old is he?
He's 7, and here's the curveball. He has autism. Oh. So explaining anything to him is like through a filter, Right. Right. So he's out, and then on top of that, he's been sick, and so he's been terrified that what are his symptoms and does that line up?
Right.
So luckily he's come through, and he didn't have any serious issues, and talking to the nurse line and everything, nobody made us take him in anywhere. But it's still scary when it happens. Just a fever suddenly isn't just a fever.
Yeah, I know. It's freaky. And kids get fevers all the time.
Exactly. Like he gets sick every time he goes back to school from any break.
Yeah.
Somebody shows up with a cold, and then the whole class has it. The teacher's out, and all the kids are out. And there's no time that he gets sick that he doesn't get me and my wife sick, because we're all in the same spot together all the time.
Right. No social distancing going on there, or not enough.
No. Well, he's really sensory seeking, so he just climbs on you all the time. He always wants to roughhouse. He climbs on my back all the time. Wants to get back. He'll get me sick anytime. I can't escape it. So if he goes out, I go out. So. Yeah.
So you said you've been writing a lot?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I can't stop. But I always write. I just write nonstop all the time, and then I have to sort through it and figure out what I actually want to deal with and what I want to use for what.
That's what I got from you when we worked together, was like, wow, this guy is just always on and in the zone. You know what I mean? Like you've got an idea for everything, and they're pretty great. I mean, your records are fucking incredible.
Thank you.
Now those guys, Mike and Eric, did Climbing Uphill, but did they also do Tied to a String?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did both of them?
Yeah, so me and Mike go back a ways. You know Donovan Keith?
Yes, I do. He's been on the show.
So he used to have a band called Soul Track Mind, and Mike Ingber and I both met playing in his band together.
Okay.
And there was another bass player friend of ours that was also in that band for a while named Jimmy Hartman. And after that band broke up, me and Jimmy were doing duo gigs, and I started sneaking in my solo songs into the cover sets. And he's like, that song's really good. We should do that. And at the same time, Mike Ingber was building 601 with Eric.
Right.
And so it just kind of lined up like, hey, I've got some time. And Mike was already my go-to buddy. And so we just kind of did it.
You can tell you guys have a real synchronicity when you're working together. Like there's a real like filling in the cracks. All of you guys are like water when you're working together. Very fluid and very.
So we work together on everything we can. Like any chance we get an excuse to work together, like the group of us. At this point, I guess maybe like a dozen or so records that we've done together. Because Mike and I have been just constantly are somebody else's backing band, like we just fill in like that, or Eric, or any rotation, like we sit in with each other all the time in any other project, and anytime that somebody needs something, we call each other in. So we've been doing it for, I don't know, Mike could tell you better, maybe 5 years or something like that, where we've just been constantly working together. So we've got a good rhythm now. We kind of know what each other's got, and we can be, this thing you do for that, bring that out.
Yeah. When you were saying earlier that in Soul Track Mind you would slip in your own own songs amongst the covers, and I made a
Oh,
note
not,
here.
not in Soul Track. After
Soul-
Soul Track.
Oh,
Me
after
and,
Soul Track.
Yeah, me and Jimmy would start doing that. Yeah.
Okay. But what I was going to say is I have a note written down that there are these songs that sound like, hey, did you write this song? Like Kiss Me?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? These songs sound like standards.
Oh yeah, yeah. So my whole family plays. My grandfather was a mariachi, and like all my aunts and uncles play, and so we have a lot of different genres that have been exposed to us, growing up. So I listen to a lot of like mariachi trio stuff and a lot of big band jazz, and my mom was into musicals, and then my brothers were into hip hop and we're into rock, and so I got this weird onslaught of genres and didn't really know where my place was. So I find myself drawn to like a lot of stuff from the 30s, a lot of stuff from the 50s, a lot of stuff from the 60s. Like I pull from a lot of different places.
Right.
I think the standards kind of thing just comes from like a love of like Cole Porter.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an amazing songwriter.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these like 20s and 30s guys did some really gorgeous chord orchestrations that are just totally, nobody does that anymore.
Right. That you can tell that that's your vibe, man, because when we were, like, I'm referencing this one thing that we worked on together because I've actually seen you at work. You know what I mean?
Right,
I've been in the trench with you. And
Right.
and I've seen what you bring to the table and what you're capable of, and also sort of like your openness to try. You know what I mean? All that
Yeah.
stuff stays like pretty strong. But yeah, your songwriting abilities are pretty amazing. If I disappeared for a second, don't freak out. I wanted to read this thing that you wrote that's on your website, and it says, if you keep true to why you're doing something, then hopefully things will work out. And if nothing else, you can be proud of it at the end of the day. Even if you're the only person who sees it, it'll still be beautiful. That's pretty amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
So
man.
I didn't remember I said that. That comes. Peter quoted me in a write-up he did about me. And that's one of the last things he put in the article. I was like, oh, I said that. Great, thanks. I'm gonna borrow that.
Oh, Blackstock?
Yeah, that's from a write-up he did about me. And
Okay.
he got that. He got that quote. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna borrow that quote from me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I never remember past me says.
Well, I mean, I think that I got, like, that is, I your vibe and your sort of the way that you do music is very unguarded. It's very open. It's very sharing. Like I said, it's very fluid, the way that you guys work together and the way you just kind of fit into a situation. You know? I mean, and I think that quote itself is very telling of who you are as an artist. And what I know from you as a person.
Right, I kind of keep it on the surface. It's a lot easier that way.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's
you're
so much less complicated.
Yeah. Well, with all of those genres of music coming in, like your tunes end up in like this. There's a level of sort of traditionality to it, like a 70s piano pop songwriter. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like from the era of the great 70s, like the Billy
Right,
Joels
right.
and Elton Johns and Jackson Browns.
Right. That's totally. I think when I was writing the first record, I was like trying to do something like "There Goes Rhymin' Simon,"
Right.
or something like one of those mid-70s Stevie Wonder records, where it's just like just a song, just a record, just some songs, but like with some real lasting composition behind it.
Yeah. There's. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I think there's just something about painting a backdrop that is lasting. That if you do the background right, even if you miss the mark on the words, the music tells the story for you.
Right. But you don't really miss the mark on the words. I was really impressed with your lyrics.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. I was kind of blown away. I was like, man, this guy like kind of has all of the. He's firing on all cylinders in these things. Like even a song like My Avatar. Listening to it today in preparation for this podcast, it hit me in a different way than it did 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
especially
very,
right now.
very poignant,
Yeah.
very timely.
There's a bunch of other songs that I wrote around the time that I wrote that have a totally new meaning to me when I sing them now. I was going through thinking about, if I do a podcast, what do I want to play? And I'm looking at all these new songs and songs I haven't released and a lot of stuff from that era. And it's like the levels of like songs that I originally wrote about the partisan divide and how, like I can't talk to friends that used to be friends now that I know the political backdrop. And how weird that got. And how, we used to be neighbors and now it's, the distance is totally different.
Right.
And the divide is totally different. The meaning behind every one of those words is totally different.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
It's a weird time.
Very weird time. Well, these both the EP Climbing Uphill and the record Tied to a String are amazing. And you bring in this I noticed on Climbing Uphill a little more that it goes to a Bacharach place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you listen to a lot of Burt Bacharach?
No, but I respect him on the same list as just being a masterful songwriter.
Yeah.
Like I listen to a lot more Elvis Costello and like Paul Simon stuff, but then I dig on a lot of other guys who are in the same realm. Like I don't really listen to a lot of Jackson Brown, but I dig on Jackson Brown. I'm like, oh yeah, he's the same. Like I'm more into Elton John than Billy Joel, or I'm more into one side of the coin or the other. But like it's all the same kind of vibe.
What do you know? What makes you into more Elton John, or more into Elton John than into Billy Joel?
I think it's probably just a handful of songs. It really just takes one. If you connect to me on one, then like I'm there. I'm in your court, and I'm like, yes, okay, you've got it. You've got a thing that I care about, and like I'll try and understand where you're coming from artistically from now on.
Right.
But I don't know that like. Billy Joel's kind of connected to me a couple of times, but he didn't hit me on that emotional level, whereas like Elton actually like kind of cut into me. I'm like, what just happened?
Right.
Period. Like that did something to me. Right on, man.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because there's this thing that happened to Billy Joel that like in the 80s, like Uptown Girl and all that stuff. It wasn't the same guy from The Stranger and 52nd Street.
Right.
It was
I like earlier. Yeah, I like some of that stuff.
Me too. Like I like those two records a whole lot. Like The Stranger and 52nd Street. Like to me, those are classic records. And he showed signs of brilliance later on from time to time, but not at that. It didn't resonate with me.
Right.
But I think for some reason, those songs, Uptown Girl and all that stuff, you don't really hear like Little Genie or Nikita or those really shitty 80s Elton John songs. They seem to kind of fade away.
They get overshadowed by the good ones.
Yeah.
It's fortunate. I mean, not everyone's so lucky that their hits are strong enough to carry them past the misfires.
Yeah. Are you do you see your, like when I listen to your stuff, I would not lump you in, but compare you to a Ben Folds. Is that?
Oh yeah,
is that
I love it. I
Okay.
cover it all the time. Actually, we've been talking about doing a Ben Folds tribute for a long time, and now this happened. So
Yeah.
I guess we're not doing it in a couple months.
Well, you could do it in your home.
Yeah, that would be fun. Because
By
I
yourself.
mean,
Yeah.
do that, which is a one-man thing. It fits. A lot of those are just piano ballads anyway. So, but yeah, I love Ben Folds stuff, and that's what draws me into Elton John's, because Ben Folds is picking up all these great tricks are from Elton John's bag. As far as just playing and like fills that he's doing.
Right. Well, let's go back to Corpus Christi. You said your family was our musician.
Those.
Yeah. Your family is musical.
Oh yeah.
And
So my mother's Hispanic and my father is white, and they both are from large families, and everyone on my mother's side plays. Like everybody plays something. All of my cousins play. All of my uncles and aunts play something. My grandfather was a guitarist, and then his sons both picked up guitar and basses, and one of my uncles is I think he plays trombone, guitar, piano, bass, drums, saxophone, something like that. I don't know what all horns he plays. He might play other horns I don't know about. But I've got cousins that are oboists, and cousins that are pianists, and cousins that are drummers, and cousins that are guitarists, and aunts that are flautists, and everybody sings harmony. So we just grew up with it. It was just one of those things. My brothers all play.
that's amazing.
we're nerds. We're that family that would sing like on Christmas. We have like everybody jamming in the living room with like maracas and 5 guitars, and everyone's singing harmony together. You know,
That's killer, man.
that was our thing. So like my Thanksgivings are like jamming out and learning the wall with my uncle on acoustic guitar, or like they just run through like all these 50 songs they used to play in high school and stuff. And like,
Right.
You just play along and figure it out. They'd show up with a binder full of covers and like, what do you want to play? Let's go.
That is awesome. So what instrument did you start off on? Piano?
Bass.
Bass.
I started on bass. I was the late bloomer in the family. I wanted to be an actor, and I was into anything but. And then my mom got sick and passed away when I was 14, and that got me into music. That was like what I used to channel the whole situation.
Yeah.
And so I started playing bass around then. Then I moved out and got really into drugs and playing guitar in bands. And then from like 15 to 25 is just a blur of misfire bands, just kind of playing in sloppy punk bands and doing gigs but not recording anything. A lot of demos in the living room,
Were you in Corpus then?
Yeah.
Where were you playing, like Dr. Rockets and?
Yeah, Dr. Rockets, Executive Surf Club. There's this little place on Santa Fe called, I want to say it's the Cantina or something like that.
It was the Cantina Santa Fe. Yeah, man, I played that place for years. Yeah.
And then there was like this paintball warehouse that with no shows. And then there was, man, this is a lifetime ago. But we moved up to Austin, trying to do South by Southwest with one of the bands. Like everybody moved up here, and then the band, of course, breaks up right after we moved here. Like we totally fell apart. Everyone went their separate ways, and a bunch of people moved to Oregon, and they went, now what am I doing in Austin? So I started over, started getting in more bands. But I didn't want to be a solo artist. I was always trying to find a band to play with. It just didn't work out. Over and over again, it just didn't work out until my son was born, and then I started playing in any band I could, and that got me in like 30 different bands. And then after Soul Track broke up was when I was like, well, I need to do something for myself. And so I was just like, let's try and make a record with myself at that point,
Right. Who all?
But it didn't even register to me until then.
But you still play with a lot of people. Do you give lessons?
No. I used to, but I don't like people who don't do the work. If you're hungry for it, then I would love to just tell you stuff. But if you don't want to learn, I don't want to force somebody to learn.
Right.
So
you don't want to babysit someone.
Right. I don't want to do that. And like if you give lessons, you end up doing that at some point. You don't get to just be I like this guy. He's got a real zest for music and some potential. I want to tell him my secrets.
Yeah.
But you don't stumble onto that.
When you say you started playing in all of like the 30 bands, what bands? Like I know you played with Damn Torpedoes. Do you play with them regularly?
Yeah. Well, currently, up until now, geez.
Right.
Well, I just joined. I'm playing with Nakia whenever we start playing.
Right, I saw that. Yeah.
I'm playing with Damn Torpedoes still. I'm also in Super Creeps. I also have me, Andy the band, the Andrew Nolte band. I also play with Derek Davis with Mike and my buddy Matt Slagle as well. I also play with. Hang on a second. Oh, I just started playing with Jessica Forsythe, but we haven't actually started playing together yet.
Okay.
I learned all the music, and we played rehearsal, and then this happened.
Yeah.
It's that other one. But before that, I was playing in this Afrobeat band called Kali Hot for a while. And we did South by a few years, and I was doing, I'm just a sit-in guy. I sit in with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing. I pick up whatever random wedding gigs come along. Anytime you see a poster, somebody's like, hey, I need, 3 hours keyboards, pop covers on Saturday night. Can you do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm that guy.
Right.
I'm the dude who's like, yes, I need a gig.
Yeah.
And then church gigs,
Yeah. So when you decided to make your own recording, and you're saying you go out and you do these shows with your band and stuff, and I saw some pictures and some video of it, and it's a pretty sizable band, man.
Yeah, we can't do any sort of social distancing live stream with that band. There's too many people.
How many people are in it? You got string players.
It varies.
How many at that Saxon Pub show?
Usually that's like 7 or 8 of us. Usually 7. Most of the time we play as a 7-piece.
Okay.
Occasionally we've played as an 8 or a 9-piece, I think. But I can't really remember. It's all a blur. We always have 2 violins and a viola, and we always have bass, drums, keys, and sometimes I play guitar, and sometimes somebody else plays guitar, and sometimes Kevin's there doing guitar and trumpet, and sometimes, usually Leela's there singing harmony and doing woodwinds. If I don't have Leela around, then it takes 2 people to be Leela, so we need one practicing and a woodwind player.
Right.
She does a lot.
She does a lot.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the Miss Fisher and the Crypt of Tears.
What's that?
Miss Fisher and the Crypt of Tears.
I don't even know what that is.
Isn't it something you did for David Bowie or something like that? Okay. There's something in your bio that you played with a dance troupe.
Oh, no, I did Andrea Ariel.
Okay.
So we've done a couple of different shows together. So we did the Bowie project, and it's sound painting.
Okay.
And sound painting is a type of sign language for musicians to be able to improvise in real time. And so you can conduct a live arrangement and rearrange music and have prepared music. So we took a bunch of Bowie songs and cut them up and remixed them and improvised around them and totally did a live orchestration remix of all these Bowie songs in this with actors and dancers. And we did that several times with her. And then after that, she did another project called Rally and another project called Locked In. And I was the music director for both of those, doing sound painting with her.
Okay. What does that entail?
A lot of insanity. It's super fun. So sound painting, as a musician, you can either be asked to improvise to a specific tempo with a specific piece of prepared material, along with somebody else. You can be scoring a dancer. You can be accompanying an actor and providing a backdrop. You can be playing part of the music on a piece of music on a loop, or at a different tempo, or at a different key, or with a different inflection. Like, she could ask you to play changes as a bossa nova.
Oh,
with
okay.
a bossa nova, but only loop the intro. And now slow it down. Now you improvise with noises over it. Or you solo over that. Now solo way over the top. And now drop out to just the drummer. Or let's hear just the bass and the guitar player. Everybody else out,
Wow.
But you can just sign all this stuff. And so there's, we spent a long time learning this. Adam and I did it with Super Creeps for, I guess, 4 years we did it.
Wow.
So we've learned a lot of sound painting and gotten pretty deep into being able to just sign language improvise as a band. It's really fun. And so then she put on another show called Locked In, which was about cell phones and our relationship to our devices, which is where my avatar comes up. And so I wrote a whole concept EP. I wrote 7 songs about our relationship to our devices and about cell phones, and I had all these Apple sound effects sampled on my computer and then to my keyboard, and I made everybody in the band play keyboards and play synthesizers and have drum pads, and we had dancers and choreography worked out to all these songs that we wrote, and then we remixed them in real time and experimented with them and cut them up and sound painted them and had the show doing it.
Wow.
Super fun stuff, and I still haven't. I'm so far behind recording stuff. All of those songs are on the docket for the next stuff I record.
Wow. When do you think? Well, now there's but do you? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I forgot. So I wrote that record, and then the following year, I wrote another record for her for a show called Rally about bringing the community together in some sort of a way to overcome political strife and tension as a community,
Yeah.
But so there's another 7 songs for that.
Wow.
A bunch of instruments I wrote for that too that are just sitting. At some point I'll get around to recording all this stuff. Then I wrote another record while I've been on lockdown.
Yeah. Are you? Do you record at home at all?
I did a lot of demos at home, but I really don't like to.
Okay.
I really, really dislike engineering myself. I'd rather. This is why Mike and I work so well. I like having a filter or somebody to help direct my ideas, because otherwise it's just a stream of ideas, and I'll sit around and I'll layer something with 62 tracks. It's like, we don't need all of this, dude. We really only needed like half of that. You could have stopped and recorded something else. Like,
Yeah.
But I have no control over myself, you know? When I'm working with the collaborator, they can say, oh, that's the idea. That's the one. No, don't go your jazz way. Don't go bossa.
Right.
Bring it back here. Do the rock thing. Go this direction or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
They guide me which version of me we need for that particular project. But on my own devices, I'll sit around here and like I'll bring up the Moog and I'll bring up the Prophet and I'll just do like weird orchestral things on synthesizers, and then never, you know, I have just all these recordings that are going nowhere. I don't know what I'm doing with them. I just keep writing things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have like a time that you set aside every day to do it? Like, are you like a wake up and write every day, or?
No, I just the way our life functions around here. This is what I do with music and Max. You know, I hang out with my son or I make music, and you know, whatever project I'm working on that has a gig that day or something, I would always be focused on that gig from day to day, and then when I had a down day, it would be for my music.
Right.
You know, because I mean, most of the week I would have a different gig or a different rehearsal with somebody that I was working with, so I wouldn't be focused on my stuff, but like once or twice a week. Now that I have all this time, I'm just compiling an enormous amount of material that I don't know what to do with.
Well, you can have music to make albums for forever.
Right. I can take a break for a while. I'm having a very prolific period, so that's convenient.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't want to record it at home, and I can't get, you know, my team of musicians and my records. My ambition for the next thing is huge. Like, there's no way you can do this with social distancing.
How huge is it? Tell me about it.
Well, you hear, okay, you know the track Magic?
Yes.
So that one is probably the biggest arrangement I've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take that and then exponentially push that up about 3 times that.
That's amazing.
I want to go back. Timpanis, we discovered that they also have those tubular bells, and they've got vibes, and they've got glockenspiels, and they've got a bell choir, and then it occurs to me that I'm good friends with a choral arranger who can, and we have a choir there, so we could actually have like a 30-piece choir on the next record.
Wow.
And I've got a harpist. I mean, there's just a lot of cool instruments that I'm suddenly aware of. Wait a minute. Let's bring back that guy that plays French horn. We'll bring the quartet back. We'll get this choir in this time. We'll, you know, just taking all these connections that we've made in the last couple of records. Like, let's put it all together.
That's awesome.
I want to make, you know, like El Dorado from ELO.
Yeah.
That's basically what I want to do next. Mike and I are trying to come up with a concept album where we can just blow it out and just bring in every cool sonic piece that we've ever wanted to play with and just play with it, you know?
Yeah. In Skyrocket, we did an ELO show. Didn't we talk about this when I saw you?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, we did. We brought in the Tosca String Quartet. We brought in another keyboard player. It was pretty unbelievable. Also, let me tell you, it was a phenomenal undertaking.
How long? Oh, I bet, dude. How long of a set did y'all do?
God, that's a good question. I think a little over an hour, maybe a 75-minute set.
I'm so envious.
I think I still have it. I had a CD of one of the shows. We only did it a couple of times. It was a phenomenal amount of work but it sounds like you get in that stuff all the time.
Oh yeah. I love doing epic things. I mean, we do God Only Knows and Mr. Blue Sky with my band when we play.
Oh really?
Yeah, and we did Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and we worked out a version of the Ballad of El Goodo with the strings doing all the guitar parts.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's fun, man.
That's another interesting thing too. Do you listen to bands like Jellyfish?
No, never heard Jellyfish.
Really? You should go listen to them today.
Oh wait, no, I just put it on my Apple Music.
Yeah, put it on your Apple Music
right now. Jellyfish.
They only had 2 albums. They've got an extra one that has live stuff and stuff, but tons of harmonies, 70s based kind of music. But they're kind of like one of those bands that's like one of those post-Beatle bands.
Uh-huh.
You know, like Big Star or Badfinger, or like, you know, guys that are heavily informed by this kind of thing. But they have a lot of Queen influences, a lot of Beach Boys influences. Good songs. You might like it. Great keyboard player. Do you know who Roger Joseph Manning is?
Uh-uh.
He plays with Beck.
Oh, that's the guy who plays with Beck?
The guy that wears the cape and the long hair.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You know, anyway, yeah, I bet you would like them. How much of that, yeah.
Oh, I have heard these guys before. She's got John Bryan and Lyle Workman. They're amazing.
Yes.
So John Bryan is a huge influence, and Lyle Workman is, he plays on some Frank Black records that blow my mind. He's on, I think he's on Teenager of the Year.
Really?
I think he plays guitar on that. But yeah, he's intense. He's just a shredder.
Yeah, John Bryan's one of my idols. I can't believe I didn't ask you that.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff, man. John Bryan, Nick Drake arrangements, and like Harry Nilsson arrangements.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
I talk a lot of that into what I'm looking at, you know.
Yeah.
Some Jefferson, some Beatles, and I'm really just everything epic, everything that like is just really to the teeth arranged and powerful. I like songs that like move you.
Yeah. What's going on now in music that moves you?
Oh man!
Because I noticed that a lot of you think about it, really, like John Bryan, he made that Meaningless record in the '90s.
Mm-hmm. That's you know, I've been listening to random stuff. I've been into a lot of T-Rex lately. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But let me see what I've been listening to.
I'm a huge T-Rex guy.
Oh, I love Childish Gambino. I've been really connecting with his most recent stuff. But then I was also just getting back into like an old Janet Jackson kick for a minute there. Like, dude, how did I overlook all these crazy R&B progressions? So good.
That's funny.
And then I've been back to I got Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, Nick Drake, Sinatra, Jim Croce. This is my most recent stuff. Ben Folds. I did a lot of older stuff. Oh, the new Beck. I like the new Beck and Pharrell collaboration. And then a lot of T-Rex, some Lou Reed, some Mungo Jerry. Yeah, I'm all over the map, man. Oh, I dig the new Fastball record a lot.
Hey, don't you like that?
I love that, man.
Wait, aren't you recording with Tony, or didn't you do some recording with Tony?
No, I just know. So back when we first started doing Super Creeps, I met Miles, and I sat in with the Small Stars reunion, and then I got to sit in with Miles solo, and I discovered all of his back catalog of his solo stuff.
Oh yeah,
and
it's great.
Amazing songwriter. And so that got me back into like all of the Fastball catalog, and so I just started like retuning back in and checking out all these other albums that I hadn't. I just like I remember the first couple, and then I was just not aware of the middle period. They have a ton of records, dude.
Right. Yeah.
So I went back down the rabbit hole recently, and like, oh my god, you've written so many amazing songs.
Yeah. I know that you have a child, and you probably have the home life of a regular human being, but ish, and you go out and play a lot. But when do you go see music? Who do you go see? Where do you go? Where did you go?
Man, at this point, I mostly only go if it, for like friend shows. Because if I'm already on the bill, if I'm already working, then I'm just going to hang out for the night,
Yeah.
But I still like to go down to Saxon Pub and 1-to-1. I'll go catch somebody at Antone's, or I'll go. I don't like to go down to 6th Street for anybody. I'm sorry, I just don't want to go downtown. I avoid that. But I mean, I like to go and catch my friends' singer-songwriter sets.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm into those places because they're just easier to find parking for me and off the beat,
Yeah, and it's a place where people. Like I find myself doing that. Like I go to a place, I go out by myself a lot. When I go out to a place, I usually go to a place that I know I'm not going to be just standing in the corner by myself.
Right.
Because I'll run into bros and stuff there.
Right. I mean, I feel like I usually strategically plan it. I'll be like, let's go catch so-and-so show tonight. We need to go watch them. Let's go watch them. And so I'll get a little group of us together and we'll meet,
Yeah.
We need to go support so-and-so. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really it. Like I go out, if it's like a friend of mine has a CD release, I'm like, okay, I'll go to that.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you're doing this show? Okay, I'll go to your show because I love you. But I don't want to, it just depends on who it is and when it is,
Yeah. Man, when this quarantine is over, I would love to write a song with you.
Oh, seriously. I've been on this like collaborative kick for a while, and I'm like, why right now? I have so many ideas.
I know. We were supposed to have this session to finish that song that we were working on, but of course we can't do that.
Great thing. I don't want to ruin it for everybody, but I have a cool trick I want to do to that song.
Oh,
when you're saying the overcoming gravity thing,
yeah.
I want to put a delay on like a muted I call it a popcorn patch, but like a muted sine keyboard wave, and do the rake across the keys and get so it goes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the what is it, like the fly like an eagle shit?
Right. Yeah. That early
I want to
Moog
put one
stuff.
of those, but yeah, set it to tempo so it does it right there. But I want to put one of those there over that part in the background with the W hit.
Awesome.
I'm that nerd though. I'm like looking for the literal sound effect. Like, oh, right here we can add a portamento glide. We can slide.
Yeah. Do you ever produce artists?
No, that's too much work. I like to, again, I don't trust my ideas. I think I have a lot of good ideas, but for all the good ones, there's equally a lot of insane ideas that I should not follow, and I don't know what's good or bad. I need somebody else to tell me, like, whoa, dude.
I think your ideas are all very what I would call expensive. Like you add value to the music. But I mean, you do have a lot of insane ideas, and regardless of if you use them, they just, I mean, I can't believe what you did to that song.
Oh, thanks, man.
Honestly, like I was just blown away. Like your approach to things, and like it also, like, I guess it didn't hurt that a couple weeks before I had rewatched that Wrecking Crew movie. And whenever I watch that Wrecking Crew movie, there's just like that camaraderie and that sort of like level of people together, working together and getting this engine oiled and warm enough to the point where every day when they walk in a 3-hour session, they take a chords, a melody, and some words and turn it into an exciting oral experience, you know, and you totally had that vibe coming in, like all of you guys did, but there was just something, you were even using the words like, oh, I know a hipper chord we can use here, and I'm like, shit, man, that sounds just like Carol Kay, man, that's badass.
See, it's by accident. You just kind of fall into this life and become this dude before you even realize you're them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One day you're like, shit, I just got up and started playing piano, wrote a song, and okay, cool, I guess this is my life now. This is who I am, you know?
Yeah.
But you don't even, it doesn't seem different than anybody else's life until you realize that everybody else just got up and had cereal. And you're like, oh, you don't just get up and write a song? Okay. Guess we're different there.
Yeah. Well, people are all kinds of different, but there's something about it, like you like, there's there was something about the camaraderie of working with you guys that I felt it was very warm and inviting, and I felt like I was part of a group for a couple of days or for a day. You know?
That's how it's supposed to be. Well, the main thing Mike and I, like, in everything we've ever done, we were always just looking for, like, how do you make the song the best version of the song? Like, what does this song need to support it, and what's our job in that role? Like, how can we deliver this idea the best, you know?
Right. Let me ask you this: because I know growing up as a musician, like, you like songs, but then you become a musician, you become an instrumentalist, and then you want your instrumentalist voice to be heard regardless of what's happening in a song. And then one day that flips, and you all of a sudden are there to serve the composition,
right,
and not jerk off.
Yeah, it takes. You have to be hungry for a long time, and then I think it's either. I don't feel like it's you ever master anything at all, but you get to a point of comfort with yourself and in your own skin.
Yeah, I don't need to play every note to let them.
Right, like you realize that, like, it's not about that. And you understand. You're suddenly no longer like insecure about the other players around you, and you're just trying to make good music, and you're trying to remember what set you on the path.
Right.
And like it takes all of this before you ever just walk a straight line. It seems like you have to do it wrong so many times before you get it right.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So do you remember when that switch flicked for you?
Oh, jeepers. I mean, I think it was somewhere after I started playing keys more, because I played guitar in bands for a long time and bass in bands for a long time before I ever started trying to play keys at all. And then when I started playing keys, it was just kind of like awakening for me when I realized that a lot of my ambition on a guitar was like a mediocre keyboardist can do what a phenomenal guitarist can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can play the exact same passage and you don't have to be as dexterous as, like, that guy put in 10,000 hours, I put in 5, and I can do that same line on this other instrument.
Right.
And so I realized, like, if I get good at this one, I don't have to be that insanely good. You just have to be okay. And you'll still be able to play pretty much whatever you want to play.
Right.
And I had this kind of like relief and comfort at realizing that like it doesn't matter, like just realizing that from instrument to instrument, what is or isn't complicated is all perspective,
Yeah.
And how you feel, and something about that was like humbling and like forgiving and made it like safe to just not be good. to just play what sounds good,
Yeah.
I was forgiving myself at that point because I realized that like it doesn't matter. What I thought was crazy hard isn't that hard when you really think about it from this perspective. And I don't even want to play that part, so who cares? It's fine.
Right.
I mean,
So
there's always going to be that guy who did learn how to play that part. You can always call him, and he'll destroy the guitar for you.
yeah. What do you get a lot out of, like, I know that working in Skyrocket has broadened my musicianship where I'm not always doing what I would normally do. I have to learn the way that somebody else does something and doing it that way. Do you feel like playing in cover bands and stuff and doing that stuff even with Ty in the Damn Torpedoes? Benmont's not a slouch. You know what I mean?
Like and he wants the exact record parts every time. And that's my favorite thing about them is they make me do my homework and they'll hold me accountable. They're like, Andy, there's a part right here. Can you get that off the record? Like, no, it's not quite it. Can you get it like this? And they'll play back. We're not leaving until we get that part right. And that's awesome. Like their dedication to nailing those specifics. And so that keeps you on your toes trying to match, or anytime I pick up a top 40 thing and I have to learn all the contemporary pop, and figure out how to do all these Bruno Mars synth things or like a Lady Gaga song or something. Uh-huh. It's like, it's so out of my wheelhouse and it's a fun challenge because you have to suddenly go like, I never even heard these songs before, A lot of the rap stuff, I'll have to like dial up a synth patch and learn how to play some track I've never heard before and memorize all the synth lines for it, or write it all out. So I love the challenge of that, and I love the way it kind of gives me different things to draw from in other projects. Because then I'll be in the studio and I'll be like, on this one song in '84, they had this keyboard patch that sounds great, and that would sound perfect right here. So I'll pull up, just depending on what we're listening to, something really left field, like, oh, this is on Gin and Juice. That would sound perfect right here. Or I'm just drawing from everything that I ever play, and I play everything. So I have been fortunate enough to sit in with Money Chicha before. Because I'm friends with Peter Straczynski, who's the regular keyboardist. Uh-huh. And so all these lines are like really rad harmonic minor riffs and like these crazy psychedelic cumbia jams.
Right.
And that stuff, like, wow, that really taught me a lot. Just as far as like breaking free of like form, the way they open stuff up to jams is so much fun and so much different structurally than anything I'd been playing in before working with them. So like right after that, it started making me think about syncopating things in different ways and like thinking about rhythms the way that like John and Lou will layer their polyrhythms on like the congas and the timbales,
Right.
Like, even things that you don't play, you'll hear it like across the stage and like you take that with you. Like that thing that dude did on trumpet is just like in my head now.
Yeah. I made this record, like 11 years ago or something, that it was after I had been in Skyrocket for a while and kind of gone through this sort of like, working on vocals. I'm not the world's greatest harmony singer. I'm very much of a lead singer kind of singer. You know what I mean? I can do my own stuff when I'm recording, but to learn harmony part, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not as fluid with me as it is with some of the other members of the band that do it.
Yeah.
But having gone through that, like, it's funny, I like a year ago or something, I was going through listening to this and I was like, oh wow, like that being in that band really influenced that side of me. Mm-hmm. Like having that when you're out there doing something, you're like, there's such a, like, I'm sure you picked up some all of that stuff that you're talking about, like rap stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah, you pick up, you get the weirdest things. Just learning lessons like about how to sing harmony and what you want to do in your music. Like you play somebody else's band and they have this great idea and then you bring that back to the subject. Like, oh, we got to do a break right here. The other day I was in a thing and this guy did this, we got to do it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
pick it up and then add it into your bag, make it part of your repertoire.
Yeah. So, so if you do some live streams during this time, I don't know when this is going to come out. Sometime in the next couple weeks, but if you do a live stream sometime, will it be on your Facebook page probably?
Yeah,
Facebook music.
I will most likely start doing some live stream stuff. Although I'm more interested in doing some pre-recorded things. Like I seriously play with stop motion a whole lot, and there's way too many toys in this house not to make some silly Mr. Bill type movies. So I think most likely I'll first put out like some Mr. Bill movies to music.
Okay.
Just from my page, and then I'll get around to some live streams probably from my Facebook page.
All right.
I'm not sure if I'll be playing pianos or guitars or backing tracks or how I feel like doing it yet. I'll play with that some.
What kind of old key? I saw you have a Prophet and some pictures, and you said that earlier. What other kind of toys? You got that organ behind you, I can see. Here, I've got one too. Check it out.
Hold on. Oh, yeah! Those are fun. I've got a couple of these. And we've got... Here.
Checking out gear on the show.
Hold on. Let's flip it. How do you flip it? This way.
Oh, there you go.
We've got this little Hammond.
That's a
and
nice
then we've got the bigger Hammond over here.
Oh, nice.
And a Leslie cabinet over there in the corner that's everything stacked on it. And we've got some guitars and a theremin and a Moog and a MIDI controller and a Nord and another MIDI controller and a little 8-track. And the closet is full of guitars. This is ridiculous.
Dude, that is fantastic.
These are all guitars down there.
Oh, Jesus.
Like I said, like maybe 7 or 8 classicals or something like that. And there's more. They're all over the house. And there's pianos in the other rooms. It's pretty bad.
That is insane.
Yeah, we have a lot of instruments in the house. And then there's like, a bunch of harmonicas and all that.
Do you play harmonica?
Yeah, I do. I play a couple of the things for Torpedoes, but mostly Ty covers all that stuff, so I don't have to. I'll do like the Traveling Wilburys song. I do the harmonica for what is that called? Not Into the Line.
But it's all right.
We're doing what is it called? Jeepers.
Hey, will you smile for the camera?
I'm so tired of being lonely. What is it called? Handle with Care. We do Handle with Care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a smile because I'm gonna use this for the thing since we can't actually be together. You
gotta have the cat smiling too.
The what?
You gotta get the cat in the picture too. He's important.
Oh, I got it. It's hella fresh.
He's hella fresh, man.
It's hella fresh. Well,
make the cat talk.
Well, dude, it's been great talking to you. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
Man, wash your hands, everybody.
Yeah.
And stay off the Barton Springs and the beaches. What the hell? Why are there people at Barton Springs right now?
Are they really?
Yeah, I just saw yesterday there was dozens of people out there swimming, all like right next to each other. Like day 1 quarantine. Yay! Way to go, Austin.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it harder for the rest of us, man.
That's exactly my point. Like, well, that's good. That's mulligan. One day back on the end of the days.
No shit.
Yeah, everybody stay sane. Have some fun with your sock puppet theater. I will put on a show pretty soon. Maybe some Shakespeare with sock puppets. We'll see.
Yeah, you guys go to AndrewNolteMusic.com, and honestly, man, if you love great music, listen to this. If you don't love great music, don't listen to this because you're just weird. But his latest EP is called Climbing Uphill. It just came out like at last fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Tied to a String, which came out the year before. He's been Austin 360's Artist of the Month. You've had a lot of great accolades, and I think it's very well deserved, and there should be more because you are a real fucking talent, bro.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah, and thank you so much for playing on my thing. Playing on my song. I'm playing on my thing.
I'm really excited to finish that. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, me too, and I'm excited. Let's do some collaboration and stay in touch.
Definitely.
Yeah, great talking to you, Andy. Thanks for doing the show, buddy. Andrew Nolte, his EP, Climbing Uphill, available now. Also, his LP, Tied to a String, available now. Amazing songwriter, amazing musician. AndrewNolteMusic.com. Now, we did this a couple weeks ago, so he might be doing some live streams at this point. So go to AndrewNolteMusic.com, get involved there, get into some Andrew Nolte. Will ya, please? I hope you guys are all hanging in there, being safe. Oh, man, what a weird time. I know I don't have to say it because everyone's feeling it, but it is a weird time. Wear your masks. Stay inside. Don't go to the places. Stay safe. I'm thinking about you. Go to AndrewNolteMusic.com. This is his song, My Avatar. A lot of the lyrics make a lot of sense. Life isn't a live stream. Hello. It is now, Andrew. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'm thinking about you. Let's get down.